There we go. Okay, welcome to day 5. So the schedule's changing slightly, and I'm going to be doing the bonus self-healing on Monday this week. So please do join me if you are interested in clearing out some of the stories you may have told yourself that are still holding you in a loop of whenever you want to achieve something, whether you want to do something, you are doing it through a time-based, 3D-based way where it may be causing you to work hard, because those are the rules of the game on 3D Earth. They're the rules of the game that have been set up for many, many years. So that's what we're going to do on Monday. But for today, what I wanted to do before I actually put the recording of the clearing that I've just recorded, so I did record that earlier. So before I put that into the group, I wanted to actually go through how to use energy clearings, because many of you maybe have watched me many times. You know that I do put clearings in. I love energy clearings because I work very energetically, but I also work on a very practical level as well. So I love to merge the energy work with the practical work. That's why I class myself as a practical mystic and practical healer, practical energy healer. So those are a few of the things that I use, because I believe that we do exist on this plane. We are solid, something that I believe in intrinsically. That may not be your belief. And I wish to actually give you that permission, open you up to disbelieving and questioning the things that you're told, that you can try them on as a truth and see if they actually feel good, feel in your system that they're the right thing, and that they're actually serving you. Because there are many perspectives of truth, many perspectives of truth. And I would say most people have got a very good intention when they're speaking to others in terms of teaching, but often it's going through their filters, which is why for me, when I'm speaking and I don't remember much of what I'm saying, I know that I've cleared my filters enough for it to be a clear transmission, a clear channel. But it's still going through a certain amount of me, my experiences, my beliefs, my values. One of my main values is integrity and truth. And still, there are things that slip through that have been embedded, that I've been working on releasing. I've been working for 2 years on releasing all the things that have actually been embedded and placed in this space, in my space, that drive me to be a certain way where it's not actually me. I mean, just to give you an example, one of those things is I always held to the fact that I'm quite shy, and I'm not, I don't have that courage to push forwards, that fortitude to push forwards, even though to the outsiders, I appear to be fairly confident. I decide and go. I'm quite good at deciding and going. But many times I've held myself back from things that would actually have been a great path, not the right path, a great path, because of some of the identity level beliefs that I held about myself. So, everything that you hear is always going through someone's filter. And what I hold true to when I work with clients is to allow their filter to be clear enough that they can see through other people's filters. because then they are less likely to be led into spaces where they don't have the greatest experience, for example. So if you are joining me live, welcome. This is day 5 of the Follow Your Own Flow to Success. And that's why the Own Flow to Success piece is, because I could have just easily said following the flow to success, but your own flow is different to everyone else's flow. So that's why this particular piece includes going very deeply, even on this 5-day journey. I invite you that even though this is free, even though it's short, you can actually do a lot of work and open yourself up loads. Hi, Jay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, you've joined on a great day. I'm going to be posting the clearing that I just recorded. So I was just talking about how to use the clearings and the work that I do. So thank you for joining live. And those of you on replay, please do say hi. And I'm going to continue. So I don't want to waste anybody's time. Time is infinite. Time is, and I'm reminding myself, sometimes when I say things, I remind myself, this is what you know. This is not, the turn of phrases that we use will often embed beliefs that don't serve us even deeper. So one thing which is really useful, and if you have like really good friends who you trust enough that when you say something that is a turn of phrase that doesn't suit you, ask them to pick you up on it. Not to annoy you, but in order to literally pick out those turns of phrases often indicate what sort of beliefs you have. I had one this morning and a good friend of mine picked up on it. And initially I was like, hang on a second. And then I was like, oh, no, that's interesting because that's obviously what I think. And the turn of phrase comes out and embeds that belief further. So it was a turn of phrase around having enough time before I die. So in order to achieve all the great things I want to achieve. So those of you who are, maybe a little bit further along in the years, and you've got great ambitions, maybe you've not actually achieved those ambitions yet, allowing yourself to have that freedom to know that it doesn't have to take as long as you think. It can be a shorter distance because you've built up experience in your lifetime that you do not have some wisdom. You've opened up wisdom and you don't have to repeat that now, that you can use that. It might just be an unconventional method of getting to that ambition. So firstly that, but secondly, that time is relative. So there's so many stories of inventions and things like the KFC guy. What was it? He started KFC when he was 65 or something. Another person who achieved a lot of success later on. And as long as your body and mind and soul are healthy, you can actually enjoy the journey and enjoy the achievement of the destination while still enjoying a journey. So it's not like you get there and that's it. You continue to enjoy further and greater and more than you ever could have expected. So Jay's saying, yes, it can be quick and experience, very much so. It does not have to be based around time. The only reason why we base things around time is because society has told us that. For example, society will have told us that to get your O-levels, A-levels, I'm old, okay. your high school diploma, your college and your university degrees and masters and everything takes a certain amount of time. And that is the route that you need to go by in order to be qualified to do something that you probably already know how to do. All you're getting is society's rubber stamp. That's it. Now, this is obviously different for regulated industries, professional industries like doctors, like lawyers, where in order to practice in that arena, it's important to have a rigorous training. But that doesn't mean that you can't know and experience, this is aside from that, different things. So I know many marketeers who are amazing, who are completely self-taught, and they've done it fast through discipline, through practice, and through unconventional methods. Does that make them any less valuable? Well, it depends. If you want them to go and teach in a college based on a curriculum or a structure that's already set out, maybe they won't be able to do that. But if you want them to, if you're asking them to get a result for you, they might have a completely new and fresh way because they've not been indoctrinated. So I'm just going to throw in an extra clearing here. All the indoctrination and all of the embedding that you have kept in your mind about qualifications, certifications that mean that you feel underqualified, unprepared, inexperienced. Can we release those and allow you to actually know the truth of the wisdom and experience that you've actually picked up yourself, that you have done yourself? Everything that is, can we release that, heal, clear, and transform that? Wonderful. There is a thing to be said for experience. And it's not always in the area that that the work is being done. That's something that I noticed, that when I'm looking at when I was looking in recruitment and I was looking at hiring, I was looking at a role that I needed to fill, and I use a specific tool, a set of tools and techniques which are very, very rigorous in order to find the right person for the role, knowing what the role requires as characteristics and training, and also the right team fit. And when I used to do the initial interviews, I wasn't checking for the skill set. I wasn't checking for can they actually do the job, because I was going to train them in that job. What I was looking for was a set of traits, experience, how that experience had tempered the personality, tempered the character, so that they were suited for the role that they would be trained into. And were their traits, their characteristics, their beings, their ways actually suitable for the role? So this is something that I've actually been going back into more and more, because I've noticed while I sit alongside my husband who works in corporate, and it flabbergasts me sometimes when I'm hearing the people in roles where their character and their traits, their being, how they are, is completely unsuitable for a role, and it causes a lot of friction in a project or in a team. So knowing yourself means that you also can match yourself to whatever it is that you choose to do. So anyway, I digress. Let's go back to how to use clearings. This is something that many people ask me when I post clearings, and I don't always say it every time. So I'm going to describe here how to use clearings. These particular clearings are energetic clearings. They're based on a clearing healing statement. I created this one myself. It's one that I've been using for years and years and years and years. Before I even learned others, I was using this with my own modality. And it came about by actually going into source, into self, and using a vortex energy, which I love using vortex energy because it's fast and it's permeable. So it permeates everywhere. So wherever there are blocks or barriers, or I kind of look at it like a karcher. I look at it like a karcher for energy and imprints and behaviors, which gets into all of the nooks and crannies, because it's like water, but it's very fast, it's very speedy. So it might make, what I'm saying is, it might make your head spin a little bit. how I use the clearings myself is, first of all, before I even listen to a clearing, I set the intention myself, and I invite you to do this, that anything that is being cleared, be healed at the same time, and be for the highest and best with ease for me, with ease and grace, and towards my aligned purpose direction. Because I don't want to be clearing stuff out and just generally, you know, shaking my identity, my personality in such a way that I feel lost, because that's the easiest way to start taking on. If you feel a bit lost, it's so easy to start taking on other people's paradigms, other people's worldviews. So there is a real fine line, a subtle line between being open and curious and being so open and curious that you don't even know yourself. So I invite you to have that intention of having clearings happen with you, with your permission, from the space of your higher self and your soul, where it's going to lead you to the highest and best space and highest and best version, imprint, blueprint of who you truly be. So the way I do that is I listen to the clearing once out loud. So I'll play, like I'm going to put the recording on here. I will play that clearing once where I can hear it through my conscious mind. Now that's twofold. One is to make sure I really want to actually allow this in. It's important. It may not resonate with you. Who am I to say? There may be barriers still in the way that need to be worked through before a clearing can actually be effective as well. So I always listen to it out loud. And the second reason for listening to it out loud is I can then notice conscious resistance, because that conscious resistance is actually going to stop you in your tracks when you're aiming to make a change in your life. That conscious resistance, it's going to stop you even getting to the contemplation stage where you're weighing up pros and cons. It's going to be like, no, I have a resistance, that change ain't happening. And you start making up stories as to why it's good for you to stay the way you are. So that's the first run of the clearing. And I will generally like pick up the resistance. I'll ask, what is it? If it's actually verbal, I'll write it down verbally. If it's something in the body, I will note down the location of it in the body so that I can do a body deconditioning later, which is one of the methods that I use in one of my programs, or most of my programs, a deconditioning body space. And yeah, so that's the reason for listening to it first time out loud. The second time, or the subsequent times that I listen to the clearing, I put it on low, barely audible. I run it wherever I am, whether it's overnight, whether it's during the day in the home while I'm wandering around. It's so low, but my subconscious can still hear it. It's still going in. And what it does, especially when you play it in the space, this is quite magical. When you play a clearing in the space that you're in, anybody's subconscious within that space has access to that clearing. So you're not only doing it for you, you're actually doing it for your environment, and you're doing it for the people around you. So if you've got family, the family. If it's in a workplace, wow, expect some unique changes, and be aware that there may be changes going on if you are running this. And you can put it really, really, really low, barely audible, so no one would really notice. And also a last point, so I'll replay this, I don't know, for maybe a week or so, and see what changes are happening. Some clearings I've recorded for months, I've listened to for months. So the release and soar clearings, which are in the Joyful Abundance Lounge, they're actually as a guide there. They're 30 days of clearings. I've actually repeated those over and over and over again in order to clear enough so that I can actually look at this stuff with a clearer head, clearer space. And I actually think that I can probably do with listening to them again. So there's no harm. so that was, yeah, out loud conscious. Now, the last part, when you're listening to something subconsciously, you do not relinquish your permission. And that's one of the reasons why you listen to it out loud first, because you will pick up the things that you're giving permission to. Remember, the subconscious uses the conscious as a filter, but if it slips in, the things around you slip in, you need to be aware of that. So allowing yourself, and you know, if you feel like you can trust the person doing those clearings to have your highest, the highest intention for you in mind, and you can allow those clearings to go through via source energy. So the permission is based as long as the clearing goes through via source energy. All these things, all you have to do, really simple, is to intend that. So I would like these clearings to be for the highest and best for me, for my soul, for my high self, and for my journey here on earth with its highest iteration of potential. And always, and going through source energy to be cleansed, because they're still, at the moment, they're still coming through me. So although I'm channeling through source, you can ask to bring things in through source. This is a tip I learned about, it'll be about 5-6 years ago now, when I was listening to lots of webinars and lots of information that I wanted to learn, but I didn't particularly resonate with the person giving the information, but they were bringing the information in a really, really great way, but there was something that I didn't resonate. So I said, you know what, rather than just not listen to it, because I really want to learn this, I'm going to filter everything that's going on through source energy. So I get the cleanest version of truth that I can, of information that I can. Now, everything that is, all of this little space, can we heal, clear, and transform all of that energy through all attachments across time, spaces, places, identities, and lives, consciousness, articulations, aspects, and dimensions. And so it is. And any commitments, contracts, oaths, pacts, internal agreements, past agreements, anything with other beings, any agreements with other beings, any bargains, interactions, can we revoke, rescind, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate, reverse, and undo, and heal, clear, and transform through all attachments across time, space, places, identities, lives, consciousness, articulations, aspects, and dimensions. And so it is. Okay, so Monday, get ready for the bonus, which is the self-healing around needing to work hard for success. I'm very, very excited about this one. I will be starting to allow that to percolate over the weekend as I relax. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. So if you're here live, just before I go, let me know if there's anything that is unclear for you, anything that you resonated with. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Say hi. Okay. Lovely. So I'm just going to hold on just a moment. Oh, Jay, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. I don't know if you've tried the body relaxation meditation, the deep body relaxation. That I've been using that myself, actually, my own one. It's created some beautiful, beautiful changes in my body, relaxation wise, calm wise. I used it yesterday because I overdid cleaning in the house, and I had some fibromyalgia pains all of yesterday. So I used this particular meditation, and today they are all gone. So, which is wonderful. So yeah, give it a go. It's only 15 minutes as well. It's very short. Oh, wonderful. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And yes, I will see you on Monday. It will probably be during the night time, so you'll possibly be watching it on a replay rather than a live, because I go and sing in choir on a Monday evening, which would be maybe about now. So it'll depend on when I'm available. So but yeah, please do keep your notifications on. It will be fun. And I will see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.